up here? Yeah.
Mayor of the town of Markham. And next to Mayor Cousins is our guest speaker, Belinda Stronach, candidate for leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure today to introduce your guest speaker, Belinda Stronach, who is a candidate for the leadership for the Conservative Party of Canada. Since the launch of her campaign on January 20th, Belinda Stronach has generated significant interest and excitement in the federal Conservative leadership race. A 37-year-old business leader, mother, and proud second-generation Canadian, Belinda Stronach represents a new generation of leadership. Her values are reflected in her management style. As former president and CEO of Magna International, Stronach has emphasized values of individual effort and initiative, individual recognition and reward, inclusiveness, consultation and collaboration, transparency and accountability, fairness, safety and security. Stronach's leadership philosophy is decentralized based on her belief that the best decisions are made by those most directly responsible, those closest to the action. She has actively encouraged entrepreneurship, creativity, and initiative among individual business units. Her keen interest in helping Canada compete globally is reflected in her work as a member of Ontario Task Force on Productivity, Competitiveness, and Economic Progress, as a founding member of the Canadian Automotive Partnership Council, and as the director of East Landry Technological Endowment Fund. In February 2003, Stronach joined the board of directors of the United States Chamber of Commerce. Belinda was born in Newmarket, Ontario, and resides in Aurora with her children Frank and Nikki. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Belinda Stronach.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Daisy, for those very kind words and for inviting me here today. And I'd like to thank the various chambers for organizing today and inviting me here. We have a great, great audience, and also to the Chinese Business Associations for inviting me here. And to thank also each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy day and your busy lives to hear what I have to say. And also to Herman Grad, owner of the Hilton Suites. You've been a great supporter, and I thank you for hosting us here today. And to my other fellow nominated candidate, where is Bob Callow? Bob Callow, I look forward to being in the trenches with you, and congratulations on your nomination in Oak Ridges. So I look forward to working with you. And to Mayor Cousins, thank you so much, and I've learned a lot just sitting beside you here today, and I'm going to talk about a few of those things I'm going to mention in a few moments. And you've been a great leader of this community, and it was a great privilege to sit beside you today. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and again, thank you for inviting me here today. It's great to see so many friends here, businessmen and businesswomen, and I'm very proud of the amount of businesswomen that I see here today. And yes. And I can say to each of you, when you're ready, when you're finished with your business careers and you're ready to enter politics, I have a few tips for you, so please give me a call. And it's certainly been an exciting transition for me from going from the corporate world, where I worked very hard to establish my reputation, to enter public life. And it's been interesting. I've been called everything from Magna Spice to Bionic Stronach, and I like Bionic Stronach, so I keep raising that one. And to Paul Martin in a cocktail dress. And he and I both agree that I look better in a cocktail dress than he does. So, but in just 4 days, our new Conservative Party is going to choose its first leader. And over the next 4 days, we launched our bus tour 2 days ago. We called it the Belinda Reaching Out to Win bus tour, and we've traveled throughout Ontario and are going to continue to do that over the next 4 days. And wherever we go, we get people honking beside us, and it's been a long time since we've heard Conservatives honking and in a positive way as we travel throughout this province. So it's been great fun and great excitement, and to hear the support and the cheering and the honking as we travel throughout this great province. But since we started this campaign on January the 20th, I've traveled more than 62,000 kilometers. I've been to each and every province several times, and it's been a great, great honor to do so, to meet many Canadians, to be able to earn their trust and their respect and their confidence, to be able to make a change and make a difference in their lives. So this has been a great privilege and a great honor for me to be able to do this. And when I first started out, they said, she is a new, fresh face with fresh ideas. And now after traveling 62,000 kilometers, I just have fresh ideas. I'm no longer a fresh face. So, but Markham is the 56th community that I visited. And it's actually, you've done some amazing things here. And Mayor Cousins is it's your fourth term now as mayor. And I'm very proud to to be able to highlight some of the things that you've achieved here. And we talked about your involvement in establishing a character community, which brings the participation of the residents and the involvement of the residents closer to the community to be able to get involved. And you really have established 4 principles here: to live, to work, to play, and to learn. And I think those are 4 valuable principles that not only can apply here to Markham, to Richmond Hill and Vaughan, but could apply across this country. So you've done some great things, and you should be commended for that. As well, you've recognized the importance of creating the conditions, the right conditions in this community for business to prosper and to attract investment, to attract business. And both here in Markham and in Richmond Hill and Vaughan, I learned that business taxes are 40% less than in Toronto, and it's for that reason, I'm sure it's not the only reason, but it's a primary reason why business chooses to come here. And I think you should be commended for that, and the other municipalities should also be commended for that, recognizing the importance of creating the right conditions. But I have learned a lot over the past 2 months. It's been the most exciting 56 days of my life, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to achieve in just 56 days, how we've been able to inspire people to get involved in politics once again and give them hope for the future. And each and every day I meet Canadians that come out and say to me, I've never ever joined a political party before, and I'm excited to join your team. And many young Canadians once again are getting involved, and our new party must do this. Many women coming out and getting involved, and many Canadians that are new to this country. And I'm very proud of that we've been able to excite and energize Canadians to participate. But I'm also very proud of the fact that each and every day I meet a Liberal, and that will tell me I've been a Liberal member, or my 90-year-old father has been a Liberal all of his life, and he's ripping up his membership and he's joining your team, and I'm very proud of that. I've also come to appreciate in a greater way as I travel across our great country. Canada is the greatest country in the world, and I believe our greatest strength is our diversity. We should celebrate the diversity that exists within Canada. It is truly our greatest asset, and you've been able to recognize that here as well in the community of Markham, and it's certainly that I appreciate that very much, and even more so now as I travel across this great country. And what other country, as you travel around the world, where else can you go to where so many different cultures and different communities can live together in peace and harmony and flourish? And I think this is our greatest asset, and we should celebrate this as a nation. I've also learned the importance of our Conservative Party, the need for our party to reach out. And I've learned that the only way to increase our base of support is to continue to reach out to Canadians and invite them to participate in the renewal of our party and in the renewal of Canada. I've learned that people are willing to give our new party a chance if we treat them with sensitivity and respect and invite them to participate. And I've learned that Canadians, whether they're in Trois-Rivières, in Surrey, in Moncton, in Calgary, Thunder Bay, Markham, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, are hungry for a change. Canadians are fed up with politics as usual. Canadians are ready to throw open the windows of the House of Commons and let in some fresh air and some fresh ideas. They want a new party and a new government that represents all of the regions of Canada and that appeals to the values and the priorities of mainstream Canadians. And I've been overwhelmed by the interest and the excitement that our new Conservative Party is generating. And it is not just with people who have been Conservatives for years, it's with Canadians who have never been involved in politics before. I entered this race to become the first leader of our new Conservative Party to make a difference. I had a great job. I was very happy there, but I decided it's too important a time for democracy, for Canada, for Canadians to sit by the sidelines. So I'm not one that's very good at sitting by the sidelines. I roll up my sleeves. I get involved because I do want to make a difference in this country. But we can only do that if we win. I believe I can win because I can broaden the base of support for our new party. I'm bringing together people from all across Canada under the Conservative banner. women, new Canadians, young Canadians, and Canadians that are sick of politics as usual. I can unite this party, and I can bring the change and the fresh approach that Canadians want. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada is falling behind. We used to have the highest standard of living according to the United Nations Human Development Index, and now we are number 8. We used to have the 3rd most competitive economy in the world according to the World Economic Forum, and now we are number 16, less competitive than Iceland. And we used to be able to meet our international commitments and be a world leader in peacekeeping. Now our military is stretched so thin that we can barely have the capacity to contribute to the international response required in Haiti. We now rank 17 out of 19 in NATO on military spending as a percentage of GDP, just 1 position above Luxembourg, a country half the size of Algonquin Park. Canada has so much unrealized potential that is falling by the wayside. And the key to unlocking this potential is to have a government with fresh ideas, and innovative policies. To date, I have put forward 57 different policy ideas, more than any other candidate, as a starting point for discussion. And today, I'd like to share a few of those ideas with you. I have only one overriding goal, and that is to work with my fellow Canadians to improve the quality of life for Canadians and to bring to this country a level of economic prosperity that I believe we have never yet fully realized here in Canada. The question is, can Canada compete? Can we raise our living standards in the face of fierce, increased global competition? And my former role as CEO of Magna did give me the opportunity to travel the world. We operated in 22 different countries, and I have seen firsthand where the investment is flowing, where the good quality jobs are being created, but most of all the entrepreneurial spirit that exists elsewhere in the world. And I have a great concern for the future prosperity of this country. But I believe that we can compete. I believe we have the people, the resources, and the energy and the ingenuity to make our economy one of the strongest in the world. How are we going to compete? We are going to compete by creating world-class, value-added products and services made and supplied by highly skilled Canadian workers. We are going to compete by attracting new investment and by boosting Canadian productivity and skills. But to do this, we must start by giving Canada the most competitive tax structure in the world. As a start, I would scrap the tax on capital that penalizes job growth and investment in new technology. I would lower personal and corporate taxes, and I would also make mortgage interest partially tax deductible. And I would create incentives for employers to give their workers a stake in the company through profit sharing and share ownership. I believe by giving Canadian workers a piece of the action in the businesses they work for, this will lead to increased productivity. But we must also look at our educational system. And I realize that education is largely a provincial responsibility, but I believe in this so strongly we must work together. We have to teach our young people, once again, that a career in skilled trades and technology is also a valuable and a rewarding choice. I'd like to bring an example forward. When I was at Magna in 1986, we invested in Cape Breton. There was high unemployment at the time, and all of our shareholders said, "What, are you crazy investing in Cape Breton in Nova Scotia? There's no automotive industry." But I raise it as an example. We built a training center there. We taught the community and the young people the skills and the know-how necessary to manufacture products, high value-added products And today, there's 2 factories there that compete in one of the most competitive industries in the world that ship quality products around the world. And now there's a 3rd factory opening, a different company, but a supplier to those factories. And it shows you when you invest in people and the right know-how to make products, it can lead to great things. And we must do more of this across this country. If I have the privilege of being elected leader and prime minister, I would like to see that we have industry-based technology centers right across this country, so we once again manufacture more goods in Canada. We import too many goods. We have great natural resources here. We export too many of our natural resources. We once again must return to manufacturing products in this country. To me, that is wealth creation and that is job creation. In addition to a competitive tax structure, looking at the conditions for job creation to take place and industry-based technology centers, our economic strategy must also involve streamlining government and reducing government spending and red tape. The overall cost of government in this country remains far too high, and we will not remain competitive unless we make some fundamental structural changes. The fact is that we are overgoverned. The United Kingdom, with almost 2 times the population of Canada, has just over half the number of cabinet ministers at 20 versus 39 in Canada. And the United States, with a population 10 times that of Canada, has just 16 cabinet members. Let me give you another example. It's no different than a factory. We could have a factory where we have the most competitive employees and productive employees in the world. But if we have too much administration in the front office, we simply cannot compete. And the same will hold true for a country. To streamline government, I would create a citizens evaluation committee made up of hardworking Canadians, nurses, doctors, farmers, teachers, union leaders, maybe even a lawyer or 2, we're not sure yet, that would throw open the books of government and comb through the budgets to identify areas of waste and duplication. I would also like to see that we have a system of financial rewards for government employees, public service employees, who identify waste and inefficiency and bring forward constructive solutions and suggestions. By growing our economy and reducing government overhead, we can improve vital services like health care and invest in other priorities like the military. As Prime Minister, I would reverse Paul Martin's years of cuts to health care funding and identify innovative ways to improve the quality and sustainability of our healthcare system. I would also rebuild our military and ensure that they have the equipment that they need to keep safe. I would buy the helicopters that the Liberals have stalled for 10 years. And if Prime Minister, I would never send our fellow Canadian citizens in harm's way without adequate equipment. I would also improve community safety by creating an effective national sex offender registry and increasing the minimum sentences for violent crimes involving guns. I would also restore Canadians' faith in democracy by electing senators, allowing for more free votes in Parliament, giving members of Parliament the ability to review and reject judicial appointments, and by creating an independent ethics commissioner who reports directly to Parliament. I also believe that no Prime Minister should serve more than 2 terms in office. I have presented more policy than any other candidate, but my ideas are only a starting point for discussion. I strongly believe our party's policies must be shaped from the grassroots up and not just from the leader down. And it's important for you not just to be involved, but to be part of this process. For too long, taxpayers across this country have been on the hook for Liberal mismanagement. Ever since I entered the race, a number of people have pointed out, well, you lack political experience. But isn't it funny that when politicians get to Ottawa and become ministers in charge of billions of dollars worth of budgets, nobody ever asks them if they have any business experience? And I think that many of you here would agree that Ottawa could use a little business sense when it comes to the management of our tax dollars. Over the past decade, we've seen the federal liberals mismanage $1 billion of HRDC grants, spend up to $2 billion on a gun registry that was supposed to cost $2 million, and squander another $100 million in commissions and fees to liberal-friendly advertising firms. As the former CEO of a major public corporation, I was held to the highest governance standards. I was accountable to 72,000 employees. I had to balance the books, and on top of that, I had to make a profit. If I ran my company the way that Paul Martin ran the finances of this country, we would have had a major shareholder revolt. I say to Paul Martin, you cannot run from your own track record. Paul Martin would like us to believe that he was a stowaway on the good ship Chrétien, when in fact, he was its first mate. Canadians deserve much better. We can stop Canada's decline and give Canadians the government that they want. But the only way we will do that is if we win the next election. Recent polls have excited and energized Conservatives, and so they should. We are closing the gap with the Liberals, but there still is a gap to close. A new party on its own is not going to unseat the Prime Minister and the Liberals. It's the first step. To close the gap, we must reach out to attract voters who are not currently supporting us. We need a leader who can take us the extra distance. And we need a leader who will reach out to attract new voters and increase our support so that we can win. You don't form governments in Canada by having regional leadership, a narrow base, and leaving parts of this country disenfranchised. We need a leader who will appeal to Canadians right across this country, someone who shows respect for every province, and someone who is not just a regional leader. We need a leader who comes without baggage that the Liberals will use against us. I am that leader. I'm the only leader who can win on a truly national level. I can win in Ontario, I can win in British Columbia, I can win in the West, I can win in Atlantic Canada, and I can win in Quebec. I also believe that I can help shape the vision and the direction of our new Conservative Party to reflect the values and the priorities of mainstream Canadians. I will make this new party work. I will reach out, build support, and win the next election. I will lead in a new way. Our party will govern in a new direction. And together, we will give Canadians the leadership that they want and they deserve. But to do this, I need your support. I need your help to reach out and to win. Most of all, if you are a member of our new party, I need your vote on March the 20th. I need your vote to win the next election. I ask that you please join me on this journey, and together we can truly unlock Canada's potential. Thank you very much.
I will now call on Sharon Crimble, First Vice Chair of the Vaughan Chamber of Commerce, to thank our guest speaker.
Belinda, it's my pleasure today to express our sincere appreciation on behalf of the organizers of this luncheon, the sponsors, and those attending, and to thank you for your transparent and honest approach to governance, and for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to speak to the business leaders of our respective communities. Your presentation was certainly very interesting and informative, and we wish you all the very best in your bid for the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our luncheon today. On behalf of the Board of Trade,